What broke your heart so badly that you'll never get over it? It was the worst thing I've ever had to go through to lose her, but knowing where she was going hurt even more. I'm a 24-year-old man who loves to play around in old cars. My dad and I have done this together since I was a child, and he was happy for me to continue. As you might guess, I work from 9 to 5, and after work I spend a lot of time making up this old Mustang I've been working on for about 2 years. My dad had that 1965 Mustang for years and had never fixed it up. Now that I'm out in the world, he gave it to me to do. It was an important time for the two of us. The garage door is in the front, so I started leaving it open one day. This way, most people can see what I'm doing. A lot of people stop by to talk and say hello. It's great. I love talking to people, especially older people who are glad to see a young man working hard on an old standard, but I didn't think she would show up. So my neighbor's mom asked me to watch their quiet, well-behaved daughter Rachel over the summer of last year. I didn't mind, but I told her I was really going to work on this car. If you could let her come over here while I work on it, that would be fine. It looks like they're having a hard time. The parents don't have time in the evenings because the dad works the third shift and the mom has a part-time job. I began taking care of Rachel. She stays quiet and reads or watches TV that I set up for her so she can be with me. As a parent, I always made sure to be polite, set a good example, and even crack a joke or two. After a while, she does start to come out of her shell, which was great. I still remember the first time she asked me why I was working on the car. This old car doesn't need to be fixed when you have a younger one that does. This antique car is about 45 years older than the other one. She'll look a lot better after I'm done with her. As a child, I helped my dad work in the garage. Now I can help you too. I always wanted to be like him, so I would watch and learn until he let me help. Oh, Dad is always asleep when I see him. That poor girl. I didn't think much about how hard to split and being away from both parents would be for a girl her age. He's trying very hard to take care of you. It's a tough job. After that, she was pretty quiet. After 2 or 3 months, though, she started to be happy when she came over and always wanted to know what I was doing. What made it work, why it had to be done, and this and that. I enjoyed sharing what I knew. I think everyone likes teaching sometimes, especially when it's something they're interested in. I taught her about tools and how to tell which ones you need. I also showed her what they can do around the house and on the car. She started to smile, and I got the feeling that she didn't have many parents outside of school or anyone who could teach her anything about life. I took her for a ride in my dad's 66 GT Roadster when he came to visit. She smiled and asked, "Is this what yours is going to be like?" I'll never forget that. It should be, but since mine is a coupe, it won't look as good. It won't be as good as yours because that's what we do. My eyes got a little teary and my chin began to shake. I just smiled and told her that she was right, it would happen. There's no way you can refuse to let her into your heart after getting to know her better. A little girl with bright eyes who is very smart and wants to learn everything you say. She looks up to you. When I saw her parents in Iraq, they were always rude or yelling at each other when they were there. This made me sad. I noticed that the mother was going without a uniform this spring. Sometimes she was dressed to go out. From what I could tell, she had either quit or wasn't working, but she was still using me as a babysitter. That didn't bother me at all because Rachel was the best. When Rachel came over, she would sometimes be quiet, but I always waited until she spoke up. Her stories would go like this: "Mommy woke me up late at night, she was acting funny," or "She came home with someone other than Daddy," or something like that. It would hurt my heart, but I didn't know what else to do besides keep being a safe place for her. She came up with more reasons to hug me and squeeze me tighter. I always had a sore throat. She's so taken over my heart that she'll climb all over me when I take a break and sit down until I give her the attention she needs. When I ask her to hand me a tool, she always picks the right one without any trouble. We had some of the best times I can remember working on things under my car. She wore my old worn-out jacket and safety glasses to keep dirt out of her eyes while she watched me work and ask questions. There was a time when she cut herself on the radiator support. I picked her up and went to put a wrap on it. I told her that most girls her age would cry if they got that cut. She smiled and said, "Now my hands are going to get all beat up like yours." I had no idea what to say, so I laughed out loud, gave her a big hug, and told her, "You know what? You're the best little girl." And then a few weeks ago, her mom called to tell me that they were divorcing and asked if I could still watch her during the week. I told her I was sorry, and she's a great person to be around. She seemed sad and quiet yesterday, which wasn't like her in a long time. Her parents are going to split up, so they'll have to move soon. She broke down crying and gave me a hug. She asked me with tears in her eyes, "Does this mean I can't come over anymore?" Some tears came out of my eyes, and I choked out, "Rachel, I don't know. I hope you can. Do you know that I love you? I love you and think you're the smartest, cutest, best little girl in the world." She cried even more and told him, "I love you too." She even asked to stay with me. I said it again, "I don't know, but I don't think it's going to happen." Yesterday when she left, I sat down with a bottle of Jack and started to cry. It's too much for me. That sweet, pretty little girl who wants to be like me laughs when she gets grease on her and puts on my old, dirty sweater when she comes over to help. I want to hug her and take away her pain. She doesn't deserve to have a bad childhood with a mother who isn't interested in her or a father who doesn't exist. It's too much for me to handle. It breaks my heart. I'm giving that Mustang the name Rachel in honor of her.